Client 2, heart rate check. I did a test to check the client's heart rate, and they had a heart rate of 80 beats per minute. This came under the category of below average. This isn't very good, since the average should be of a good heart rate should be like 72 beats per minute, and he was up quite significantly, which is quite unhealthy. So that would need to be sorted out, definitely. He then had a blood pressure of 149/93. His systolic blood pressure was pretty high, and it was quite similar to and his diastolic was just higher than the pre-high as well, which shows that he did have quite a pretty high blood pressure, which is also isn't good, which will also need to come down as well for his health to be better. We also did a BMI check. He had BMI of 32.5. This came under the category of obese. To be healthy, you need to be around about 22, and as you can see, he's up by 10.5, which is quite bad. So that would also need to come down as well. Then did a lung function check. We did 3 tests and took his highest result. At the first one, he got 475. Second, he got 490, and in the third, he got 475 again. So we took 490 as his lung function result, and it was slightly under due to smoking, most likely, because he is quite a heavy smoker, that he said in the interview. Then we did a waist to hip ratio check. He got a waist to hip ratio of 0.98, which is unacceptable and quite high, especially for his gender. As you can see in the graph, that he was above high, which isn't very good, and he should be around about maybe like 0.87 rather than 0.98, which so he is almost pretty much 10 above, which is really bad. So for the evaluation, for his goals, he wanted to lose weight, and we need to stay motivated to do this, and he wanted to do this as soon as possible, really. So he can easily lose weight, and he knows what he wants to be done, so which is good. So he knows what he wants to achieve. For time, if he keeps to a specific regime, he can easily achieve what he wants to in a short time gap, just as long as he sticks to a correct diet plan and good amount of exercise. With his exercise, he said he exercised 0 times a week, which came under 0 to 2 times a week. He's been doing this for 20 years, and he can't exercise as much due to work and just his effort, really. And he doesn't do any sports, but if he was to do one, he would prefer to do a team sport. To be able to reach his goal, he needs to be exercising at least 3 to 4 times a week. To be able to do this, he needs to come up with a timetable, or together we can do it, to balance out his work, relaxation, and exercise. And he needs to find a sport that he likes to do. Possibly find a team sport to take part in, so it's more enjoyable. For nutrition, he said he didn't have a balanced diet and never had his 5 a day, and he usually has ready meals and fast foods, and has 1 to 4 cups of water a day, which isn't very good either. So I recommend that he comes up with a diet plan, and he needs to have cooked meals rather than fast food and ready meals, as cooked meals are more healthy if they have the correct ingredients. And he needs to consume at least 5 to 8 cups of water a day to be able to stay hydrated and have a more healthy body. He said he smokes 5 to 6 times a week and drinks every weekend out of enjoyment, and said he got 4 to 7 hours of sleep, which is okay, but he needs to get a bit more than that, because it's not very good. So he needs to cut the smoking out of his life completely, and he needs to reduce the amount he drinks as well, and needs to make sure he's getting at least 7 hours of sleep, like I said before. Like, he needs to get to the higher spectrum. With his physical health, he said he's previously had an ankle sprain, That was in football, I believe he said, but he's had no surgery, doesn't have any current injuries, or isn't on medication, which is good. But I would assess the ankle to see if it's hazardous at all, and like refer him to the doctors as well. With nutrition, like I said before, he didn't have a balanced diet, eats ready meals and fast foods, and consumes 1 to 4 cups of water a day. He needs, we need to come up together with a diet which will include his 5 a day, and he needs to pre-cook his meals, which will make it a lot easier because he mentioned that it's effort for him. So whether if he's just got the pre-cooked meals already, all we have to do is just heat them up, rather than having to go through cook it and that be the next day. Whereas he can cook them all in one batch for the whole week, then put them in the fridge. Then he can just heat them up when he needs them. And I also recommend that he downloads a Waterlogged, which is a app which will track his water consumption. This will just give him a guidance of how much water he should be drinking a day. Then for his lifestyle, he said he smokes 5 to 6 times a week, drinks every weekend, and gets 4 to 7 hours of sleep. I suggest that he steps down to an e-cigarette, then stops to make the process a bit easier, or maybe moves down to a nicotine patches or something like that, then stops, because it can be quite hard just to stop smoking completely. So that will just make the process a lot easier for him. And he needs to cut down on what he drinks, so maybe have the drink once a fortnight rather than every weekend, just so it's a bit easier for the process to lose the weight that he wants to. And also say that he downloads a app called Sleep Better. These apps are all free. Then just to make sure he's getting enough sleep, so he's more energized than for the days. And yeah, for his physical activity, he says he exercises 0 to 2 times a week, prefers team sports, and is too busy to exercise. I would suggest that he trains 3 to 4 times a week doing HIIT training, which is a high intensity training which burns fat up to 48 hours after the exercise, so it also burns during the exercise and afterwards. Then I'd also say find a team sport he likes to do and join a local club. So say if you like rugby or football, maybe go down to the local club and play on the Sunday and do the training as well. Then yeah, just come up with a timetable to balance out everything really for his exercise, then his like relaxation, work, socializing. And plus, if he did find a local club, he's gonna make more friends, so he will have a better social life, which is a positive impact. With his heart rate, it was 80 beats per minute, which is below average, and the only way to improve this is to do cardio exercise. This will improve his heart rate, and it will just the heart rate will become lower when it's resting, and it will just be a lot healthier for him. For blood pressure, he got 149/93. To be able to make the blood pressure lower, he needs to quit smoking, then exercise more and eat healthy, and reduce his alcohol intake, which is he does all the opposite of those. So he needs to get those out of his life so he's able to have a healthier body. Then his BMI was 32.5, which is classed as obese. I recommend that he exercises and eats more healthy, so this will come down, because at the moment he's not very healthy at all, so this needs to be done desperately. For his lung function, he got 490, so this would be just smoking, so he needs to stop it completely. Like with his blood pressure, he needs to stop it there as well. So it just needs to be done so he can have a healthier lifestyle. Then with his waist to hip ratio, it was unacceptable and high. So to be able to improve this, he will have to exercise and eat more healthily, like with the BMI results. He just needs to do this to be able to have a better life and just have better outcomes.